It means I'm going to be seen eating. Uh-oh. There's I stuffed my face. I think Leonard has muted himself. We are now live. We are doing a one-off show with talking about the schedules that were released yesterday for Friday. As soon as Leonard gets, as soon as Leonard unmutes himself, there you go. Yes, we can. Start the show. I'm going to blame everything on the fact that it's before 9 o'clock for me on the East Coast, so that you can use that excuse too. I'm okay with that. Hi, Caroline. So that's Funko Forum, Funko Fanatics Forum members only. They're going to be doing a lottery for that, is what I heard. Is that what it is? I think you may have just a technical glitch here. You may have the screen locked on me. When you're talking, it doesn't automatically go to you. That's very sweet, Leonard. Yeah, so fresh out of the shower.
Ooh. Let's try that mic.
I'm going to mute myself and see if I hear you through the YouTube.
Okay. Oh, no. Well, I think I've turned the microphone up. And hopefully it might be me. I'm now getting an awful delay in my headphone. It's going to be fun as this. So once again, let's just quickly go through. Funko is going to be a lottery. It's all upstairs in the sales. This is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Depending on the amount of attendees in line, the line may start moving as early as 8 a.m. So they are going to try and get people in as possible. All right, so there you go. You can hear me now. Hi. Sorry, but it's all fun and games. They're getting it. Oh, and now an echo.
It never fails.
This is just
okay.
giggles.
I'm gonna have to go find my earphones. My son is stealing my pink earphones. My 17-year-old son is so desperate for a headset.
Of course. Well, we've got to go. We've got to get our tech together because we fly on Monday morning and we've got all the tech stuff to pack yet. If anyone's got a spare USB power brick, we'd love to borrow that because we've lost ours. I haven't lost it.
Who had it last?
Okay, I had it last.
There you go.
This is what I have to put up with. Okay. We want to just do this. It's a breakdown of the panels. Like I say, I have been asked for a couple of the rooms, which we are going to cover as well. But we are going to go through the main ones. I say we go alternate. How's that sound, Alyssa? If you do ballroom 20? I'll do Hall H first.
Sure. Yes,
I'll let you prepare.
Something first.
I'll do Hall H first and we'll break through. No, okay.
Sounds good.
No worries. So let's go to our page, which I've created for Hall H. All the Thursday listings there, which are fun. But then we get into the stuff on Friday. It's all big stuff. We start with The Big Bang Theory, which are going to be bringing their return to Hall H. We do have an idea of cast that are going to be showing up, and it's pretty much the majority of the core cast as well. And so they are all going to be on stage. This is 10 a.m. It's a full hour. So, yeah, it's a strong start. The Big Bang Theory aren't as on the cutting edge of the zeitgeist, but we've got ourselves still a popular show. So that's, yeah, season 10 is done and season 11 coming up in September. Then we go into the two Fear the Walking Dead panels. This is 11:15 to 12:15 for Fear the Walking Dead. Huge cast list on the stage. Kim Dickens, Frank Delane, Alicia Denham Carey, Mercedes Mason, Coleman Domingo, Dayton Cally, Sam Underwood, Daniel Sharman, and Michael Greyeyes, joining showrunner David Erickson, Robert Kirkman, Gail Ann Hurd. Just what on earth? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 12 people. Okay, and they've got to get them all off stage to get the Walking Dead bunch on, which are going to be at 12:15. Again, same drill. All the core cast, moderated by Chris Hardwick. So it's going to be a fun panel as always. So that's 2 hours of Walking Dead action. Fair enough. Plenty of people going up to the microphone and saying, "What can you tell us about the next season?" And we're having everyone just turn around and go, "Just watch the bloody show." So, yeah, that's that. Game of Thrones panel. Again, very much like The Walking Dead, you've got some core members of the cast on there. Alfie Allen, Jacob Anderson, John Bradley, Gwendolyn Christie. Gwendolyn Christie in town. That's interesting. Liam Cunningham, Nathaniel Emmanuel, Conley Hill, Sophie Turner, and Isaac Hempstead White. Right. This is an interesting panel, or it's going to be interesting to talk about the footfall, because it's the stuff we already know. Not only that, but it's also going to be a show that is in progress. The new season actually kicks off on the 16th. So, yeah, just short shy before the actual Comic-Con kicks off. So we're actually going to have, for the first time, a Game of Thrones panel while the actual show's on air. But then we're into 2 or 3 panels back to back, which are going to kind of insist that you are in the room way beforehand. At 2:45, Twin Peaks is coming to Comic-Con. You do have, as far as I'm aware, pretty much everyone but not everyone from the main cast. I think there's like 125 cast members in the new series. But certainly people like Carl McLaughlin and all the core, say 8 or 9 of the cast are there. Nobody knows if David Lynch is going to be in room, but the rumor is abound. So who knows? I do know there's also another Twin Peaks panel happening where you can actually see a sneak peek of episode 11, which is in another room. But yeah, a full hour in the company of Twin Peaks, seeing some actors getting older right in front of your very eyes. So there's that, and then you deal with the slightly younger talent in terms of Preacher, which is going to be between 4 and 5. Seth Rogen, Garth Ennis is in the room. Excellent. Yes. Dominic Cooper, Ruth Negga, Joseph Gilgun, Ian Coletti, and Graham McTavish. All the Brits, all the Scots.
McTavish.
So
look, fun.
So I don't know if this panel is going to come with subtitles.
If it's not needed,
if the Scots are in the room,
well, maybe. Yeah, I will admit at that point.
Yeah, but that's going to be a very popular panel. I know that you're interested in this one.
That would be the highlight of my day. I mean, I'd be interested in Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, but to be honest, we've had a number of those panels before, so you don't have that new factor that you will with Preacher. I would dearly love to see those guys. However, I don't think that's going to happen for me. I don't think I'm going to want to sit through a whole day of Hall H for one panel.
I know. Now, okay, I liked in Twin Peaks, but I'm not as that invested as everybody seems to be. So I would have to sit through possibly a Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, certainly Twin Peaks, if I wanted to be vaguely front and center for Preacher. That's yeah. But there you go.
interesting. It will be an interesting choice. I'm sure there will be it will be well attended, and there will be a lot of people who are interested in going. I know there's a lot of interest on the forum about people going to doing Hall H on Friday.
It's definitely one of those days where you can just camp your ass down and you're there for the duration.
And all of the shows are interesting. There's no, there's no like trailer park.
There's no weak link. No, you're absolutely right. And then, of course, right at the end, you've got 5:15 for 6:15, Marvel's The Defenders, which is Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. All of them are in town. Jeff Loeb as well. Did I just call him Jennifer?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Good morning.
I'm very tired, and I've also got an echo in this ear. So. Okay. Cool, but no, that's going to be an interesting panel. Again, though, it's something you're going to have to sit through a number of other panels to get to. It's going to be not a great deal of turnaround in Hall H because of the amount of interest and the amount of content that's in that room. Good news is it's 6,500 people, so you may get some movement at the back of the room, so you can be in the room. You just be looking at the dots on the stage very, very far away. So there we go.
Or the screens above your head.
Or the screens. There we go. Right, so that's Hall H. I'm guessing on the forum, like you say, it's not a great deal of movement. People are just talking about just doing the day in one blast.
That seems to be the case, yes. So you're looking at an early queuing. Certainly, if you are a fan of the earlier panels, I mean, you're looking midnight to be in the room. Yeah, I'm not. I dislike setting times to get, of when people should line up, because it's so subjective, and I could be wrong, and then people are upset and they say, "Oh no, but you said," and I'm like, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Okay, then no, you're absolutely right. So no more on that. So that's fine.
Ballroom 20.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Psych reunion panel. Have you heard any buzz about this? I mean, I seem to have heard a little bit of people talking about it. Yeah, just a little. Okay. And the movie sneak peek, sneak peek at the movie coming up. So that's I didn't follow Psych when it happened, so I'm a little behind the curve, obviously. But we have that kicking off Ballroom 20 at 10 a.m. Followed by a bunch of hardcore shows, iZombie and the 100. So those fan bases are pretty rabid, and I suspect we'll be camping out for that.
Well, I think that's the thing about all of this. It's all rabid fan bases. So it's going to be packed room. And from the word go. Like I say, Psych had a massive fan base. Very much like Veronica Mars. It has that kind of cult niche fandom. So no, they're going to be coming out the woodwork. iZombie, yeah, same deal. Tell you what, I'll shut up and let you do it.
Oh, really? So you've got those people, those three fan bases. You've got the Psych people, the iZombie people, and the 100 people fan bases, all trying to get into Ballroom 20. And I believe it's a 2,500 seat room. So it's smaller, obviously, than Hall H. For those people who are a little unfamiliar with that. Then you've got a panel called Brave New Warriors, which is rather interesting. I had that information up a moment ago, and of course I've lost it. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, it's on the screen at the moment.
Great.
Basically, it's a bunch of the male heroes from
you've got David Harbour from Stranger Things, Christopher Maloney from Happy, Colin Donahue from Once Upon a Time, Richard Rankin from Outlander, Rodrigo Santoro from Westworld, Ricky Whittle from American Gods. So this is this is an interesting group of male actors talking about their what they go through being involved in these highly followed and strong fan base kinds of shows. They talk about awkward encounters with fans, their new careers in Hollywood, and what it's like to be recognized. So that's an interesting little thing. It would be it's an interesting panel. It's an interesting way of breaking up the day, I think.
I mean, I've got Caroline beside me, and she is turning around saying the Brave You Warriors are always fun panels.
They are.
I mean, they always get a good moderator from Entertainment Weekly to really keep things going and keep things fresh. No, always a good giggle. So.
That's
followed. I know that you've got David Harbour on there as well, who is just a force of nature.
Yeah, good. Every panel needs one of those forces of nature. Absolutely.
And Ricky Whittle as well. He's going to pull the fans out of the woodwork as well.
Then there's the next panel, which we don't know much about. It's called the sci-fi panel. They have it.
Yes.
All they have listed is TBA on it. But given what sci-fi is bringing to San Diego, with all of the shows that they're bringing, I mean, Battlestar Galactica, Van Helsing, Z Nation, 12 Monkeys, Dark Matter, Sharknado, Krypton, Winona Earp, The Magician's Expanse, Ghost Wars. This has a potential of being really cool.
But here's the thing. All of those panels you mentioned have got individual spotlight panels.
Right.
We've already had a bunch of them announced. So I don't see why they would be repeating that. What I think they're going to be doing is bringing a panel for their original content. At the end of the day, Sci-Fi are doing have done a massive rebrand. They are going to be pushing that original content. I know there's a bunch of sci-fi classic novels which they've optioned for adaptation for Sci-Fi. I think it's going to be that.
Okay. It has a potential of being one of those panels with surprise guests and an innovative look at where they're going with Sci-Fi. Why they did the rebrand and where they intend to go with it. So it could be, I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful for it.
I'm going to jump in with a suggestion which is being chimed in my ear. I've got Geppetto going up.
Yeah, hi Caroline. You just
say to me again what you just said.
Buffy.
It could be Buffy. It could be Buffy.
Sci-Fi are pushing the Buffy 20th.
Yeah, it could be a Buffy 20th.
Every advert is Buffy 20.
So, like I said,
I think if they were going to do a Buffy panel, they would have announced it. They would have actually gone out and said, this is the Buffy panel.
But the problem is that it could very well be that they can't quite get it together to make that announcement yet. Because, this is the entertainment industry. Things happen sometimes at the last minute. And, maybe we'll get the announcement next week. Who knows? Regardless, this is a TBA panel, so stay tuned. Keep watching it because it could be really, really fun. We end up the day in Ballroom 20 with The Gifted, an extended sneak peek of The Gifted show, which I thought I pulled that up.
It's the X-Men themed CW style kind of youngsters. 90210 meets X-Men. What? It's all young, beautiful people. So,
okay.
But you've got everybody on there. I mean, you've got Brian Singer showing up. Jeff Loeb, we knew, is in town anyway. He's done a couple of panel earlier. Lauren Schuler-Donner, same drill. Simon Kinberg is in the room as well, which kind of also tells me that we're going to be hearing about X-Men Dark Phoenix on the Fox panel, which no one really mentioned on the unofficial blogs breakdown yesterday. At the end of the day, that panel takes place, I think, no, that's yesterday. The 20th Century Fox panel. At the end of the day, Simon Kinberg, the director of that film, is in the room. So I'm just thinking we may be seeing some concept art, but that's Thursday. So, okay. So that's the Gifted.
So the next room that we are doing is 6A.
Oh, no, you've missed a couple.
Oh, no, I have.
Yeah, 5 o'clock till 6:30 is the Outlander panel.
Oh, my. How could I have missed the Outlander panel?
Yeah, that's going to pull them out of the woodwork. And also the 2 screenings back-to-back of Batman and Harley Quinn. The first screening is also going to have Bruce Timm, Paget Brewster, Kim Grieg, Kevin Conroy, Sam Liu, and Lauren Lester. So yeah, you're going to have cast and crew on stage for the first one, and then they're just going to show it again. Till 11 o'clock at night on a Friday. Well,
the Outlander panel certainly will. I was surprised at ECCC how many fans there were of the Outlander show. I was very, very surprised about that, and all very nice people, very giving, very friendly. But it seems like it's a different kind of fan base than you get from iZombie, Psych, iZombie, the 100. So it may very well be
nicely with the Gifted.
Yep. So you may end up getting a huge turnover midday in Ballroom 20.
Yeah.
Perhaps during Brave New Warriors in the sci-fi panel at some point. So
depends what sci-fi bring.
Yep.
No, you're right. Okay. Next room is Indigo. It was a very busy day yesterday with your John Barrowman, your Shadowhunters, Van Helsing, etc. This one is the vast majority is animation, and then there's a definite delineation. 10 a.m. till 11, Cartoon Network, OK, KO, Let's Be Heroes, which is a new series. Cast and crew showing up for that. 11 till 12, Steven Universe, which has got a mammoth, rabid fan base. So I think they're going to be sitting through the Let's Be Heroes panel to get to there. The Jellies from Adult Swim from 12:15. I have no idea about that. Likewise, oh no, I definitely know about the other. Sorry, Rick and Morty at 11:15, at 1:15, 2:15. You got Robot Chicken. So you got people who are going to sit through the Jellies to get to Rick and Morty and Robot Chicken. Mike Tyson Mysteries, Bob's Burgers, and Archer throughout the course of the day. That's Mike Tyson Mysteries at 3:15, Bob's Burgers at 4:15, Archer at 5:15. All of them very popular and cult followings. I said cult following. Okay.
I'm not so big on the animation, so I'm not going to chime in on the Indigo. Needless to say, I'm not going to be there for that one. But I appreciate Steven Universe, the Steven Universe fan base, and everybody else who loves the Adult Swim stuff.
I mean, it's not the biggest room in the world, but it is a big room, and that'll fill out.
2,000. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It will certainly fill out for Rick and Morty. It'll fill out for Steven Universe. It'll probably fill out for Bob's Burgers. Possibly not as popular as Kerry Dixon thinks it is. There we go. Archer's got a big fan base as well. So there's that. And then at the end, there's a bit of a breakdown. An hour or so where they get themselves sorted out for the Will Eisner Comic Industry Awards, sponsored this year by Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi are going all out this year.
They are. Well, I mean, they grabbed Zach. that wasn't small at all. So they're, which is good. They're finally taking their name seriously after, 10 or 20 years of kind of like, oh no, we want to be the wrestling channel.
We want to be the Sharknado channel.
Right. Well, because I talk in sarcasm. Okay.
No, you were right. We got it. Very quickly, just to go back to that Archer one, you've got Aisha Tyler, Chris Parnell, Judy Greer, Amber Nash. So you've got a talent pool there, so that will pull them. But when it comes to the Eisners, you are basically talking the Oscars of the comics industry, and every major name that draws and writes all the books that you love in one room. Admittedly, behind a velvet rope and being fed, and you're not. But it's fun to be in the room and sort of like cheer from the cheap seats. At the end of the day, it's free entry as well, so you just rock up and you can spend the evening in the company of Jonathan Ross, if that's your bag.
Or the company of Leonard and Alyssa.
I'm hoping.
If you can find us, we'd love to hang with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Berry's asking who's hosting the Eisners this year. I'm thinking it's going to be a rotating host, but I do know that Danny Pudi is going to be in the room. Thomas Lennon from Reno 9/11.
21 days.
Oh, I've never seen it.
We'll get back to you on that.
I think it's going to be more of a rotating host thing. But Danny Pudi could hold his own if needed.
So 6A?
Right, 6A. Do you want to do that?
Hasbro, My Little Pony, starts the day off in 6A. And not a fan base that I'm very familiar with. I think Hasbro, they usually do some exclusive tied into this. So it is quickly followed up by Hey Arnold from Hollywood to the Jungle, another anime from animated show from Nickelodeon, followed up by Tales of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have to say, looking over the schedule of this, of 6A, it really seems very put together. I like how they go from, the My Little Pony to Hey Arnold to the Mutant Ninja Turtles to Disney's Star versus the Forces of Evil and Milo, Murphy's Law, and then into DuckTales.
Yeah, that's right. From they really, it kicks off.
Yeah, it matures, as the day goes on, which is nice. It's really nice to see. So you can go in and see, you go in and see TMJ, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then kind of wind up with the DuckTales and have a nice family day. I
do think that the room is definitely going to pick up from actually 1 o'clock from that earlier one, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kevin Easton, Stan Sakai, Sean Astin, Rob Paulson. Those aren't silly names. Those are serious names. Yeah,
Kevin Eastman and Stan Sakai. One of these days, legends. I will get to the Stan and the Gru author, and that just old school comic panels that old stories, which are really fun. Followed by the Tick, which I am really looking forward to, with the Amazon show that they're doing, that is being...
They are going all out in San Diego this year.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got the off-site that's happening, which is taking place over a large chunk of directly opposite the convention center on the Hollywood Boulevard. On the Boulevard. No, it's just... Yeah, they're going all out for this show.
They've got the cast members, Peter Sarah. Okay, thank you.
Peter Senovenovich.
Okay, from Guardians of the Galaxy and Parks and Rec. Griffin Newman, from Search Party, Jackie Earl Haley from Preacher, Valerie Curry from The Following, Yara Martinez from Jane the Virgin and True Detective. So you've some guys from Suits. You've got a huge cast, and it's definitely one of those panels. And Leonard and I have even received press notifications about a number of things that they're doing for the press, to try and get more hype about it. So this is definitely one of those very interesting panels to watch. The following,
then again, just it's going to be busy for that first couple as well, because you've got Weird Al Yankovic for the Star versus Force of Evil. Sorry, or is that for Milo's Murphy's Law? He's in the room for one. Oh no, he's in for Milo's Murphy's Law. And then David Tennant and Kate Micucci, Danny Pudi for DuckTales. So they just got shot.
just show up. Then the panel after the Tick is going to be a half an hour show that I don't know if a lot of people have watched. The panel is an hour. The sitcom is on TBS, and it's called People of the Earth. I didn't hear a lot of buzz.
Never even heard of it.
Right, I haven't heard a lot of buzz about it. I like it. I've watched it. I'm not a fan of half an hour shows. It's a quirky, just kind of little, it's funny, but it's not, it doesn't try and be funny. It's about a reporter who has a close encounter and moves to this town to explore this close encounter, and keeps kind of getting into very odd situations.
Isn't that town called Eureka?
Well,
it describes town called Eureka.
Well, but this is a little bit more, campy, a little bit more.
It's Conan O'Brien who's producing. So.
Yeah, it's a funny show. It's low key. It's not, going to be a big hit. If you happen to be around for the Tech, you may want to stick around for People of the Earth, and just catch an episode of it, because I'm sure whatever they bring will be low key but deadly. And I like that kind of stuff. Followed up by Cards Against Humanity.
I'd like to know if Caroline's going to be in the room for that. She's a huge Cards Against Humanity fan.
Well, it probably the room will probably clear out.
Table, for God's sake. And she's hugging it to her chest right now.
I can see that if you want to go to that, you could probably walk in after People of the Earth and the Tick show, because I imagine that the hall is going to clear out after the Tick. Then followed up by Klingon Lifestyle and Twin Peaks Part 11 exclusive premiere.
That's where people will come back in.
Yep.
Admittedly, it's going to be on telly 2 days later, but for the hardcore fans, that's where
to watch it with other super fans is the best.
To watch it, the thing about Twin Peaks this season, and I have been watching, I think I'm up to about episode 6 at the moment. It's a unique experience for yourself. It's a subjective audience to it. So it's almost like a mirror. How you enjoy it is what you get out of the show. It's very strange. So to see it with an audience, that's going to be odd.
I believe it's on a pay network here, and so I don't get that one at this point. I may eventually succumb and have to watch it.
Fair enough. Very quickly, we have got 1 or 2 people jumping in on the Q&A. Thank you very much indeed. Angela Copley, I want to see panels in 6A, but DuckTales will ruin it for me. I don't know. I mean, I'm not overly thrilled with the animation style at the moment, but it's okay.
Get a bathroom pass.
Get a battery pass. Fair enough. Dan Berry and Angela Copley saying both People of Earth, very good. Watch the first season. Excellent. So
I agree. Okay. It's, you know, it's one of those sleeper shows. It's, you know, it's a single camera comedy, but it's so quirky, and the people are real, and the acting is good, and people, that's why I love it so much. And I usually hate sitcoms. This is for the people who hate sitcoms. This TV show, this sitcom is for the people who hate them.
Fair enough.
Moving on.
Okay. So yeah, turn around in that room. It's like you say, it's that sliding scale of maturity to go from My Little Pony to Twin Peaks, and there's this direct line.
Yep.
Where it's just in age groups. So that's really cool. That's actually rather cool. I think that's really clever.
They did a brilliant scheduling for 6A. You know, for Friday, in my opinion.
So that's going to be cool.
Maybe Klingon Lifestyles, I'm not so sure, but you know, there you go.
That's always an interesting addition to the Comic-Con panels. Yeah, Klingon Lifestyles. Okay, we go into room 6PF, which I'll do quickly. All the busy stuff in Thursday. Friday. Hardcore animation fans will like this, and gamers as well. Young Justice Q&A. So you've got key producers and members of the creative team. None of the cast, but it is going to be an interesting panel just to talk about how the show's evolving, because it is a show that does have a very strong fan base. That's 10 o'clock till 11. 11:15 till 12:30, Capcom versus Infinite, which is the new collaborative game between Marvel and Capcom. 12:45 to 1:45, Street Fighter 30th anniversary. This echo is really starting to get on my nerves now.
You can say that one guy's name.
I know. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to be a celebration of Street Fighter in its numerous forms. Then you're into another game with Middle Earth Shadow of War, which is the production team from Monolith Productions, cast Troy Baker, Kumail Nanjiani from Silicon Valley. You've also got Laura Bailey from Critical Role. So another niche fandom there. And then you're into building worlds with Blizzard, 3:15 to 4:15. And then you're into your not games. Skybound Entertainment with Robert Kirkman, talking about their TV and film projects. It's going to be interesting, if anything, because Robert Kirkman is going to be talking about the adaptation of Invincible, which he's bringing. I believe that's a film. So that's a new adaptation of that. There are also the new series Heroes and Villains. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Because Robert Kirkman.
With Walking Dead, Outcast, Invincibles, you know, all those three television ideas back to back with Vikings, the panel following it, very interesting block there.
There's going to be this massive out in. There's going to be you go from Blizzard to Walking Dead, because you've also got
and
Overwatch later.
Yep.
So to have Vikings just sit in the middle of that is very odd.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but like you say, it's a popular show.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth it's doing in 6BF?
I mean, if I recall correctly, last year, Vikings had people camping out the entire day for their show. So I'm hoping that the gaming community will be able to get in to see their panels, you know, Blizzard and so forth.
I remember when we did the Firefly panel, and it was an animation. It was not Legend of Zelda. It was an animation show.
Whatever.
And you could just tell Avatar, I think it was. And the fact that all of the seats have been taken up by people who were sat in for the Firefly panel.
Yep.
It was heartbreaking, really.
Yep.
To see these people who are very passionate about this show that they wanted to be in, to see the panel for.
It's kind of, it's kind of interesting that they put Kirkman talking about Invincibles and Outcast just before Vikings. That's a nice kind of way of introducing Vikings fans to some of Kirkman's other projects, which are also pretty far out there. It seems like it's a good crossover of fan bases. So that would be, that's an interesting one. I'm going to have to start getting going. So can I hurry you along a little bit here? There's a couple of other panels in 6BCF, the Spike and Mike's Twisted Animations and Worst Cartoons Ever. Yeah. Followed by
a couple of comments coming in on the Q&A very quickly. It was Cora that I was talking about. You were right. It's Graham Small. The Vikings panel wasn't totally full when I got there last year. Queued up about 30 minutes before.
Interesting. And I stand corrected.
Yeah. And Angela Copley is quite rightly turning around that the room is going to be packed for David Tennant.
Yes. Yeah. So 6DE, we start off with Hero Worship, Capes, Conflicts, and the Creative Process. Frank Miller and Tony DiTerlazzi, Spiderwick Chronicles. What we're looking at here is, this is hardcore comics in this room. If you are interested in DC Rebirth, Stanley and Friends, Dark Knight, Vertigo, this is a room you want to camp out in. Absolutely. Ending up with a spotlight on Jan Michael Straczynski.
Jan Michael Straczynski.
Straczynski, okay, because I always can get him mixed up with a musician, the musician Straczynski. Anyway, so we go from Hero Worship with Frank Miller to DC Universe Rebirth with industry greats, to Stan Lee and Friends, a celebration tribute to the comics legend. We don't know if he's going to be there, given what he's been going through. We don't know this, but we certainly will have Felicia Day, Adam Savage, Max Anderson, anecdotes, and just I can imagine heartwarming outpouring of feelings for him. And hopefully there will be if he doesn't come to the panel, that there will be a video taken of that and shown to him later on, because
it's going to be an emotional one.
Yeah, that'll be a big one. DC Dark Knights, Metal and Dark Matter. You've got Scott Schneider, Greg Caputo, Steve Orlando, Philip Tan, James Tyrone, and Robert Vendetti. So what more do you need to say? I mean, if you follow
if we talk about the talent on stage, that's fine, and yes, that will be an interesting panel, but then it's a case about what they're actually talking about, this new chapter in DC publishing. I've seen some of the preview art. I've seen some of the intentions of what they want to do with it. I'm curious to see how that as an event is going to work. So I'm going to be, if I went to it, I would be going as a slightly more clinical level. And I'd hope that it wouldn't just be a fan celebration of those fantastic talent on stage. I would like to know about what Dark Knights is actually going to bring to DC.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Followed up by Vertigo, a creator spotlight, featuring John Ridley, Academy Award winner John Ridley, with a few surprise guests. So we are talking the evolution of Vertigo with a looking back and looking forward.
Considering how many Vertigo talent names are in town, I think, but then
they're
again,
they're teasing
because,
special guests for this one too. So it's, you know, one of those things. So it'll probably be like the night before at the bar, like, hey, you want to come over to this? Oh yeah, we'll come. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, remember, a lot of the Vertigo talent were also Brits that came over as part of the British invasion. So it's how many Brits are going to be actually able to make it to the panel.
So then we go to DC from page to screen, talking about moving to television and home videos and movie theaters. Doesn't list any of the talent that's going to be there, but one would think that you would have to have somebody big, somebody who knows their media from DC. Then you go into the spotlight on JMS. It will be interesting to hear what he has to say about the cancellation of Sense8. I'm sure that will come up in the Q&A.
That's a given.
That's a given. But he is also writing a pilot for Midnight Nation. And Gail Ann Hurd, she pops up everywhere. What panel is she not on?
She's a popular producer.
Yes, she's a very popular producer. She did I saw her last year in Falling Water too, and she's very personable on stage. And isn't she doing Walking Dead and Fear Walking Dead?
She's a producer, exec producer on Walking Dead.
She's adapting JMS's 10 Grand for A&E, a mini series.
But not listed on this panel. It is just going to be JMS on stage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Followed up by yours and my favorite, Sharknado 5, because we need a Sharknado in comic.
Okay.
Yep. Moving on.
Please.
I don't know how much more we need to say about that. It's always fun.
Moving on.
Yeah, that and the Sun Superpower Beatdown is going to be next, followed by Screen Junkies, Honest Trailers. Screen Junkies did a party last year that a lot of people really liked. They did another party this year, with a ticketed event, $15 at the Hard Rock, and they're inviting us to see the show prior to the party. So they're kind of one of those people that I'm seeing more of the Screen Junkies. So I'm interested.
I'm curious as to whether I might actually be found in this room, because myself and Caroline could quite happily just put Honest Trailers on YouTube and just let them roll endlessly for hours.
Yeah.
We are addicts. So, yeah, I'm up for that. I'm just wondering if it's just going to be one big advert for Screen Junkies Prime or whatever their video on demand service. So hopefully it doesn't descend into that. So
okay, I just got a notification from Kevin saying that I have not done the weekly TV article yet. Okay, and I need to leave for work soon. So you're up next, Leonard.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to let you get off.
Okay.
Tell you what, have you very quickly had a look through just for a couple of dark horses, just for yourself, something that's just kind of jumped out at the schedules?
I have taken a look through, and to be honest with you, I'm not as interested in Friday's panels as I was in Thursday's panels. To my mind, Thursdays have got more of the quirky stuff happening. I may be interested in the People of the Earth panel that we were talking about earlier. If I can walk into that room, I'll probably go to that. But the panels on Friday was Behind the Battle, War for the Planet of the Apes, the Artistic and Technical Visual Effects Tour for Planet of the Apes. They did some interesting stuff with this show that if I have time and I want to rest my feet, I'll go to it. They also have the next one, that's at 11 o'clock in 32AB. At 1 o'clock, there's Hollywood Location Scouts. How do they go about finding these places? And that's at 1 o'clock in room 9. 1 o'clock, they've also got Selling the Hit, what you always wanted to know about the stunt industry. Because I'm always, I'm a kind of physical person and I enjoy that kind of stuff. But that's going to be at the MMM in Pacific 23. DuckTales made my list of just kind of quirky things to see. And as we went over, that's in 6A at 3:30. And then the Eisners. Those were my highlights.
Okay. Very quickly for mine, room 2. I've always been a big fan of course. I have crewed and teched that room. But I've always been intrigued by the panels that they have in there. And they've got, from 3 o'clock, How to Draw with Adam Hughes, How to Draw with Jim Lee, and then Draw Pretty Girls with Art Journal. Back to back.
Nice.
Holy crap.
I know where one of my best friends, Chris Chen, is going to be all afternoon.
Tell me about it. That's something else.
Yep.
So that's room 2. That's at the back corner of the panels. If you head, it's above A entrance. I'd certainly will check that out. But also, if I can just find it, this is going to be the Tony B. Kim couple of hours.
Oh, nice.
Where is it? It's sorry about this. Yes, 12 o'clock. Building a geek brand and getting paid to do it.
Nice.
She's doing with Chris Gore, Anna Mia, who's a cosplayer, and Andre Meadows. And then after that, let's get fashionably nerdy. So it's all about the fashion stuff, which is where his Hero Within brand will come into it. So 2 hours of Tony B. Kim. He's going to be in the Grand 1 and 2 of Marriott Marquis. So there's those. Cool.
We'll
have a closer look, but yeah, you've got to go, haven't you?
I do. I have to open my store within half an hour, and I'm dressed today.
Right. You might see tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, sounds good. There we go.
And Natasha's joined us.
Natasha joined us.
I am fashionably late. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Same time, Leonard. Same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow.
Okay, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, Eastern time.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So that's been our show. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's time to say goodbye.
That's all right. That's all right.
No.
Yeah.
We'll stick around for a little while longer because we'll also talk about the things that have jumped out at you and what your take on Friday has been. Very quickly though, because I did have someone on Twitter turn around and say, could you please mention or talk about 2 rooms? So that would be 23 ABC and 24 ABC. So bear with me. We are going to
let me get that
switch
up.
over to
to the 24, 23 ABC. Nothing really jumped out at me in those rooms. Of course, the major panels like for Hall H and Ballroom 20. I think there was a few, like 1 or 2 in 6 CBF. I need to get my schedule up, so hold on.
Okay. Well, I'll bring them up as well. So it's 24 ABC and 25 ABC. 24 ABC, it starts at 10:30 with Marvel Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. 11:30, Taking Comics from Web to Print. At 12:30, Netflix Buddy Thunderstruck. At 1:30, Mechanized Magic. Yeah. It's all interesting stuff. Mechanized Magic, 55 years of theme park animatronics. 2:30 is a spotlight on Glenn McCoy, who is the guy, the most awarded cartoonist in the history of the National Cartoonist Society. So yeah, he's had his fingerprints on a number of stuff. Writers get published, get greenlit, get working. Artificial intelligence, will computers take over the world? Yes, they will. Into the fact that that's going to be a short panel, isn't it? Will they take over the world? Yes, they will. Into the fan zone, celebrating pop culture in young YA literature. Sorry. Life is Strange Before the Storm Developers Showcase. And if you love something, make a book of it at 7:30. And the Girl Genius radio plays. So that's 24 ABC, all really kind of niche. That's going to be walk in, walk out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not expecting the room to be completely full.
Yeah, I think the one that's going to jump out there is the theme park animatronics, because the Disney fans will come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, if they haven't already come out for D23. So.
Indeed. And then very quickly, 25 ABC, Geeking Out on Secret Loves When Personal Tales Fill the Page. Diana's Sisters Protagonist, which is based on the feminist narratives in fiction. So certainly jumping off the back of the success of the Wonder Woman film. Yeah.
So, for the Power Ranger fans that collect the toys, Saban's Power Rangers Toys and Collectibles Power Hour, that could definitely be something of interest for them.
Yeah.
And Marvel usually does a Breaking Into Comics the Marvel way like every year. So that's at 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm. You've also got What Rebellions Are Built On, Popular Culture, Radical Hope, and Political Engagement. So it's going to be two panels back to back, which are very politically charged. So if you are someone that really embraces the political nature of your fandoms, that is going to be something to check out. Condemned to Repeat, which is those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it, but what can comics help us to remember? So that's another one which is it's all very politically charged. And then it gets into the nuts and bolts of fandom creation. Do you want to be a comic book retailer? So you want to be a comics retailer, which I don't quite get the two. It's maybe just a glitch. It's the same panel. Introduction to Burger Books. This for me is the only one that really will get people interested, because you've got Karen Berger with her new imprint for Dark Horse. It's saying surprise guest. She has got a Rolodeck a mile long, so that's good. That's going to be the one that I think could pull a lot of people in the room. Bill Plimpton Beyond Revengeance, narrative in video games, Resident Evil Vendetta, Mega 64 panel of Justice Effective Immediately, and Super Geeked Up Geeky Improv Live. I was asked if I could keep a look on these two rooms by Daniel Hernandez. Hopefully he's still watching. I personally think it's going to be walk in, work out for most of those, with just those one or two in the middle in there. I think the introduction to Burger Books could pull a lot of fandom, and also the 55 years of theme park animatronics. So that's my thoughts on it. Okay. Right, Natasha.
Yeah.
You've had a bit of time to have a look at it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Friday?
Like I said, Friday is a little bit slow. I mean, Voltron, or was that Thursday?
That's Thursday.
No. Yeah, okay. There's Psych. I never really watched Psych. I'm sorry. but I'm sure the Psych fans will be excited about that.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. That's one of those fandoms that are passionate about that show, and
for real,
yeah, they will fill that room.
Exactly. One that jumped out at me was in room 5, AB, Sherlock Comics with Stephen Moffat. In 1987, the greatest geek year ever. I thought that would be a cool panel.
This is yesterday.
Yeah, Friday's panels. Isn't that Friday?
No, that's a Thursday panel.
Why am I looking? Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't scroll far enough. That's what happened. Okay, Outlander, of course. Was there anyone that really jumped out at me? There's, of course, some of like the anime rooms, like the movies and stuff. Icarus. What's that?
So, I mean, we talked about the majority of the bigger rooms, as you can imagine. So, your Hall H's and your Ballroom 20s of the world. So, it's more about what has jumped out or what is jumping out at you as you scroll through. I mean,
the Princess Mononoke screening sounds cool at the Horton Grand Theater.
Yeah.
And the female voices of film Twitter.
I know a couple of them, and I think 2 of them are actually wanting me in the room. So I think I've had my invite. Yeah.
Don't you have a panel?
I don't have a panel this year. No.
Okay.
I submitted, and I was slapped down by like the cheeky child I am. Yeah. A couple that jumped out at me as well. In room 28DE, you've got Spotlight with Marguerite Bennett at 1 o'clock, which is going to be fun because I'm a huge fan of Marguerite Bennett. 2 o'clock, followed by that Bisexuality and Beyond. Deadpool made us do it again and again and again. And you've also got Queer Fear at 7.
Yeah, and then John Carpenter's new title.
You know what I mean?
The Tales of Science Fiction. That's at 8. That's late.
That is late. But you've got 2 or 3 panels there, possibly even separated up a little bit, which are very much embracing about the gay fandoms. And part of me is wondering why it would be lumped into one room. And then there's another part of me that wonders why it's being split up a bit, if that's the intention. It seems kind of like half in, half out. They can't commit to something if that was the idea.
Well, I mean, if they don't really want to compete against some of the bigger panels,
true.
That could be a strategy as well. I mean, that's something to take into consideration. That'll be my guess.
It's a very strange splitting up of panels for that, but there we go. Okay. And I mean, you've got a spotlight on Marjorie Liu in there. That could have been folded in there. Very odd. Okay. Right, so again, carry on. Anything else that's kind of jumped out at you? Before we
the black panel, room 5AB. And the Geek and Sundry panel with Felicia Day. That's also later in the day at 2:30.
Right. Yeah.
And DuckTales, of course.
Yeah. We kind of talked about that. It's one of those things which is just going to pull the Who fans out of nowhere for David Tennant. But it's looking through the panels of Thursday and Friday, the amount of doctors that are in town
Mm-hmm.
is ridiculous. And we're not just talking like the new Who either. You're talking David Tennant, Colin Baker, the ones for the classic Who panel that's taking place on the Thursday. The amount of Who.
Yeah, I think that's nice considering Capaldi is his last run as the Doctor, and he's going to have his panel on Sunday, and just it's kind of like a combination of Doctors at Comic-Con for everyone to enjoy, old fans and new fans. You know what I'm saying? So
cool. Right, I think that's pretty much us then. I know you joined us late. I'm sorry.
That was a lot later than I anticipated.
That's a lie-in.
That's a lie-in. Yeah, but definitely tomorrow I will be on time. How about that?
Oh, excellent stuff. Fantastic. Cool. So everyone, same time tomorrow. We'll do the Saturday. Yeah, the Saturday schedules. So they're going to be announced in the next 3-4 hours. As soon as we get ourselves sorted, tomorrow, same time, same back channel, myself, Alyssa, and Natasha will break through those panels. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I know it's been a bit impromptu. What's that, sorry?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy day Saturday.
It is, isn't it?
It always is.
I know it's been a bit of an impromptu kind of thing, and this has developed into this daily thing that we're doing live. But, you know, it's fun, and we're getting on with it, so it's cool. Take care. See you tomorrow, and we'll be talking about Saturday panels. Sunday on Talking Comic-Con, we're going to be talking about the TBA panels, all the stuff that we could be seeing, say, for example, on the sci-fi panel, on the 20th Century Fox panel. We've got Helen O'Hara from Empire Magazine, who's going to be joining us to talk us about that. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the Sunday panels, which should be announced as we're live on air, as per bloody usual. Yeah, that's always...
At least we know of a few of them already, so...
This is true. At least we've got some kind of framework. Yeah, cool. Andrew Dickinson is saying, that might clash with the F1. It's all about priorities, dude. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Take care, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.